Keep it up and that up.
Team Deathmatch.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Rich of ReviewTechUSA, and this woman is proof that tattoos cannot make everyone sexy. I am not an egotistical person at all. I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm not the best looking guy on the planet. But I will say I don't have a problem getting dates. I don't have a problem talking to women. I'm a social guy, so it's easy for me to approach anybody. That's why I don't have a problem getting a date for a Friday or Saturday night. But the shit that I go through with women, you would think that I was living a rejected American Pie script. Some of the crap that I deal with is unreal. And I wait for a bunch of stories to accumulate to make my next video about women and dating or women at the gym or whatever. If you remember that video, you're going way back with ReviewTechUSA. Now it's time. I got 4 stories that are epic. I'm going to start with the least shocking one first, and the last story will be make you shit your drawers. So sit back, relax, and prepare to hear my dating nightmares. Let's talk about story number 1. We're going to call this woman the weather woman, the fair weather woman. Because, well, listen to the story and you'll figure out why I call her that. So over this summer, while I was working, I was at Staples. I was in the store waiting to do something in there, and there was a woman shopping there. We bumped into each other. We started talking. She seemed interested. I ended up getting her number. She took my number. Wonderful. So it was weird. I called her a couple times. She never called me back until like a month later she calls me. She's like, hey, how are you? We should meet up this weekend. Okay, great. So she calls me a couple more times during the week. She called me on Monday saying we should meet during the weekend. I thought we were meeting that weekend. She called me a couple more times during the week, and then once we go to meet for coffee, which was 2 minutes down my road, she lives like 3 minutes away from me, she never shows. Okay, I got blown off, whatever. Now, keep in mind, she called me though, okay? I didn't call her. So, I didn't take it, I took it with a grain of salt. I live 2 minutes away from where we were supposed to meet. I didn't break a sweat over it, no big deal. So it was weird though. She called me, she apologized, she said, oh, I got my days mixed up, whatever, I thought it was BS. But she kept in contact with me for like 6 months, which was weird. Here's the thing, you're like, Rich, why are you bothering with a woman that blew you off? I stopped calling her. She would keep calling me like, yeah, we really need to do something soon. She would never make a date. She would keep on saying, we really need to do something. I'm like, I'm rolling my eyes, I'm thinking like, yeah, okay, whatever, fine. Great. When you want to meet, just let me know. Like, why are you like making such a big deal about this? We're both adults, and you live like I could walk to your house in 10 minutes. But I mean, she didn't tell. I've never been to her house, but she lives like in the village of my town, which is 7 minutes walking distance from me. Anyway, so she calls me this week, and she's like, "Let's hang out this weekend," and I'm like, fine. She's like, I'm not sure what day though. I'm like, give me a break. I said, you live 2 minutes down the road with me. You always have an excuse. I said, this weekend, if you want to meet, you keep calling me, let's meet. If not, I'm done. She's like, okay, we'll meet. Okay, after work, you work Saturday? Yes, I work Saturday. Call me and we'll hang out Saturday. Okay. So Saturday comes around. I just got off a meeting for my job and I had to go to work at 12. So I'm like, you know what? Another friend of mine, she's just a friend, wanted to hang out that night. I wanted to hang out with her, and I don't trust this broad. So I call her up, and I'm like, look, are we hanging out tonight? She goes to me, the weather, I can't hang out in this weather. I can't do it in this weather. This Saturday was 40 degrees, sunny, couple clouds in the sky, but because it was windy, that was her excuse. I laughed. I was like, you have to be kidding me. That's the best you could come up with? I was like, why do you keep calling me then if you don't want to hang out? She's like, no, it's really the weather. I'm like, it's sunny outside. It's windy. Okay? It's breezy out. You're blaming the wind for you not wanting to hang out? She's like, I know, you're right. I said, you got to do me a favor. I said, you need to get my number, take it out of your phone, and never call me again. Now, you're probably saying, Rich, why were you bugging with this? Why were you bothering with this woman then? I wasn't bothering with her. She was proactively calling me. I would forget about her, and then randomly, like, it was funny, over Christmas she called me, and she was like, yeah, I haven't forgot about you. She was calling me. So I have two conclusions. Maybe you could write another one in the comments if I'm missing something. It was either this, either she has some psychological issue that she actually did want to hang out with me, but when it was about to happen, she got cold feet. I don't know, maybe she was abused or something like that. I don't know her well enough to say. Or, and I think it's probably this one, she probably has a rocky relationship with some kind of guy, and when it goes sour, she likes calling me until they get back together. She has her, whatever, she has her company, she has a companion until they get back together, even though we never hung out, so that maybe that doesn't make sense, but that's the only two things I could think of. So that's my first story. Story number 2, we're gonna call this one Psycho Texter. So I'm on a dating website, which I'm thinking of canceling. Anyway, I'm on a dating website, which shall remain nameless. And I see this woman on there. She looks interesting. I like the profile. I message her, hey, how are you? She messages me back. I said, you want to chat on the phone, get to know each other better? Yes. So I get her phone number. And it seemed to be going good. I call her up. We're talking on the phone. Then flag number 1 comes around. First red flag, I should say. So she asked me what I do for work. I said I work a couple part-time jobs, or I work 2 jobs. Now I got rid of one of them. And I told her what I do. I work for a tech company, which shall remain nameless. And I tell her I do commentaries and reviews on YouTube. It pays a couple bills. I didn't explain what I do. I told her I work for a couple websites. You know, I didn't like embellish it, like make it like it was a big deal. I said I work for a couple websites. I make a couple extra bucks doing it. She asked, what do you do with it? I told her. She goes to me, oh, that's boring. What? The thing about it is, okay, even if you're thinking that, like, people have told me their jobs before, and I'm like, okay, snore, kill me. But you don't say it, especially when you're first meeting somebody. So I'm like, oh, so, okay. I didn't respond. I didn't make a big deal about it, negative or positive, because I'm not like that. You know what? That's what you think. You want to go that route? Go ahead. So I asked her, what do you do? Oh, I work at Lowe's. Okay. I'm just like, I could have did it back to her, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be the better man, quote unquote. So anyway, we talk a couple more times, and we talk again, and she's sitting there talking to me about her cat. And I'm like, she's like, oh, you have a cat too? I'm like, yeah. So she's like, the cat was sneezing or something like that. And she was like asking me, she was like trying to make me diagnose what was wrong with her cat. And I'm like, look, I don't know. Maybe it's your litter. I don't know. I can't give you an answer. And she started getting pissed at me. I'm like, I'm not a vet. So anyway, continuing on. It was just, she just rubbed me the wrong way with 2 different phone calls. One with the cat, and the other one with being very blunt about saying what she thought about my job. So whatever, I took a hiatus from talking to her. But she did call me, and she would leave a message saying call me back. I tried calling her back. We played phone tag for a few days, and I guess she tried texting me too. So she also got my screen name online for Yahoo Messenger, and I see her on there, and she's like, where have you been? I'm like, I've been trying to call you. You've called me. I've called you back. Then she proceeds to get pissed on Yahoo Messenger. She's like, I want to talk to you. She's like, why haven't you responded to my text messages? I, honest to God, didn't get any text messages. I don't know if she screwed up, thought she sent him. I don't know if she sent him to someone else, thought it was me. I didn't get text messages. So then all of a sudden online, she flips out and she's like, you know what, screw you. You don't care about my problems. You don't care what's going on with me. I said, you know what? you're friggin' nuts. I said, I don't care what's going on with you. I don't even really know you to care what's going on with you. I have my own problems. I don't need to deal with someone's problems who I just met. I didn't get your messages. I'm not lying to you. I've returned your phone calls. If I was trying to avoid you, I wouldn't return your phone calls. But whatever. At that point, she just got offline. I guess she either blocked me or just shut down the computer or whatever. And I didn't hear from her for like a week. So I come home from work one night and I sign on to my computer. I'm about to work on a video. I sign into Yahoo Messenger. I see that she's on there. So I'm like, you know what? Even if she was going through some stuff, let me be the bigger man here, talk to her. And even if we don't, like, obviously I had almost no interest in her at that point at all. I was like, let me just be friendly with her and we're both adults. Let's end this amicably. So I talk to her, say, hey, how you doing? Hope everything's all right. She's like, well, my cat almost died. It costed me $3,000, but you don't give a shit. And I snapped at that point. I said, look, I didn't get your text messages. You got angry at me for miscommunication and I wasn't avoiding you. I obviously returned your phone calls and I'm coming to you offering an olive branch and you're starting again? I said, look, I'm glad your cat's okay. I'm sorry that he almost died. I'm glad he's doing good now. But you're insane. You're nuts. And she goes to me, look who's talking. You're a loser. Are you kidding me? You calling me names? Ew. Signs offline. All because I never got her text messages and wasn't a psychic and I didn't know what was going on in her life. Can we say bipolar and manic depressive? Next story. Now this one is a doozy. I don't do blind dates. The last one I did until this one, but this wasn't a date, was when I was 15 years old. And it was a nightmare. The girl looked like a gorilla. She accused me of grabbing her ass when her whole body looked like her ass and I didn't go anywhere near it. And after that, I said, you know what, I'm done with blind dates. That was at 15. So for 15 years, I didn't go on another blind date. Well, a friend at my job, he said he had a friend who was interested in meeting somebody. And he looks at me, he's talking to me about this, and I'm like, dude, no, I don't do blind dates. And he's kind of like, not begging me, but he's like, come on, man, just do me this favor, just meet her for coffee or whatever. And I'm like, fine, I'll meet her for coffee. But like, you know what? I'll just meet her somewhere, like just to say hi. Okay? So he gave me her number, and I told him he could give her mine. And she calls me, and she's like, yeah, let's do coffee. I'm like, you know what? I have to look at my calendar. I got a bunch of stuff going on, which was BS. So, whatever, a couple days later, I'm out and about in town. She told me she was off that week, so I call her up and say, hey, you know, I'm running errands right now. Are you around the area? She's like, yeah, I am, actually. So I'm at the mall, and I'm like, you know what, why don't you meet me in the parking lot? We can just say hello, see if we click, whatever. She's like, yeah, okay. So we exchange what kind of cars we have. I'm waiting in the parking lot. 20 minutes later, I see her car. She pulls up beside me. Oh, dear God. She steps out of the car. Now, I'm 30. This woman was like 37, 38, from what he told me. Steps out of the car. First off, she has the physique of a linebacker. I mean, manly. She has on what looks like a grandmother's dress for a top, and it looks too tight. But what was, I mean, it was already a broken deal, but what was just the icing on the cake, and I'm honest to God, I'm not lying right now, she had a mullet. A real mullet. Business on top, party in the back, mullet. Which I don't understand. She's only a few years older than me. You would think you'd have the fashion. A mullet should be illegal anyway. But she had a mullet. And she had yellow teeth. And she just looked terrible. So I'm just like, hey man, nice weather, what's going on? I'm Rich. Oh man, look at the time, gotta go. You know, she was nice. We just got in our cars, drove away. It's funny, I went to work later. And I saw my friend there, and he was like, hey, how'd it go, man? I was like, yeah, it went all right. We just said hi real quick. She's like, yeah, unfortunately, she's not interested in you. I'm like, oh, man, that's great. I'm okay with that. That's fine. We didn't click. That's how it goes. Tried to be a sport. It's cool. She was horrible. That is why I don't do blind dates, and I'm so glad I got I didn't even want to do when I go on a date with someone for the first time. I don't even consider a date. I like doing coffee, so there's no pressure. You can just kind of take your coffee with you. If you don't click, find each other attractive or whatever. I'm glad I didn't even do that because it would have been hell. That is the reason why I don't do blind dates, because you could end up with a linebacker with a mullet. And now, ladies and gentlemen, story number 4. The main event. So we're gonna go back to online dating again. So I was on the website and I see this woman, older, 41. Read her profile. She seemed cool. MILF status too, which is a benefit. So I message her. We start talking. Looks great. She's new to the area. Looks attractive. And yeah, okay. MILFs are awesome, they're cool, but she's 41, I'm 30. It doesn't mean it can't work out. It's not like I'm 18 and she's like 45. It's not like Mrs. Robinson status here. So, she says she's new to town. She would like to meet some people. She wants to hang out. Okay, great. I say, hey, tomorrow, this is now a week ago, but tomorrow, I gotta run some errands around where you live. Maybe we can meet for coffee. Okay, great. There's a Starbucks around the area. Now, the errands, I didn't really have to do them, but I got them done. And we decide to meet at 6 o'clock. So, get the errands done, go to the Starbucks. 6 o'clock comes around. She's not there. 6:10 comes around. She's not there. 6:15 comes around. She's still not there. And I hate... I don't even hate when you're late. I hate when you're late and there's no communication, because now I'm thinking, all right, is this broad blowing me off, so on and so forth. So I'm waiting in the parking lot. It's crowded, but it's not that crowded at the Starbucks parking lot. And all of a sudden, this ragged Nissan, I think it's an Altima, pulls up. And I'm sitting there, and there was just something about it, it pulls up slow, like she was looking for somebody. I couldn't really see in the car. I'm like, maybe it's not for me. She gets out, and what I see get out of the car looks like a grandmother. I'm like, okay, just someone going there, because there's also a Pier 9 store and crap in this strip mall. And all of a sudden, I see this older woman looking at my window. She knows what I look like. She saw a picture of me. So she starts walking over, and I swear to God, she was walking over, this older woman, salt and pepper hair. She looked like she was dressed like, an old English teacher from grammar school. And I'm thinking to myself, no, this can't be. Maybe she's coming over to ask me for directions or something like that. She comes over and she looks at me and smiles. She's standing next to my window. I roll down my window. And she sounded like Rosie Perez, and she was like, hi, is her name Rich? And I'm like, oh God, no. I'm thinking this in my head. Oh, Jesus Christ almighty in heaven. What the hell is going on right now? She looks nothing like her picture. And I was like, yeah, my name's Rich. It's like, hi, how you doing? I'm so-and-so. Keep the name out of it. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? Let me. She's like, come on, let's go get some coffee. Come on, let's do this. I'm like, all right, hold on. Let me just turn off my car. So I get out of the car slowly with this woman that looks like she's in her 60s, let alone nowhere near goddamn 41. And she starts walking to the place, and I'm like, hold on one second, come here a second. I told her to come back. I said, I'm not trying to sound rude, but you look nothing like your picture at all. You look older than your picture. And here I'm sitting there with this grandmother talking to her. The people who saw it I felt so freaking awkward at this point. And she kind of had this look like she was about to try to sell me, like she was going to negotiate with me when I asked her this. I said, and she's like, look, let me explain something to you. That picture isn't of me. It's actually, what I do is this, I like younger guys, so what I do is I have a picture of someone who looks like me younger, and when I meet them, I just try to convince them that, you know, just hang out with me, get to know me first, because, you know, we can still click. And I'm like, oh my God, so what she's saying is she lures younger guys to hang out with her. And she hopes that they'll be desperate enough to be like, oh, she has a hole, so who cares? And then that she'll still get with them. She looked old. I'm talking, I mean, MILFs, I've dated older women before, like in their early 40s. But grandmother status, even if you look like Sophia Loren, not now, because she's freaking old as dirt. I don't care, you're a grandmother. I'm thinking dentures, I'm thinking Depends. She ended up being 61 years old. So after she got done explaining her story and convincing me and why she has a picture that she looks like younger on the profile, she goes to me, come on, let's do this, let's go get coffee, let's talk, maybe you'll get to know me and like me, you know, let's just do this and see what happens. And at this point, I'm already pissed off because I was tired, I didn't feel like going out anyway. She was 20 minutes late and with no phone call, and on top of it, she lied about what she looked like, she lied about her age, and I'm sitting here with grandma. And I say to her, look, you know, if it works for you, that's great. Honestly, I'm gonna let you know right now, I don't think there's gonna be any interest, there's gonna be no chemistry here. I'm just gonna be kindly decline your offer, although I do appreciate it. She got pissed. She goes to me, so that thing, you're not even gonna come into the Starbucks and get coffee with me? And I say to her, no, there's no reason to. I'm not gonna be attracted to you. I'm sorry. You know, to be perfectly honest, you shouldn't be lying this way to people and trying to trick them to hang out with you, because eventually they have to meet you anyway. And she goes to me, she rushes off with her nerves, walking back to her car. She's like, you know what, let me explain something to you real quick. This is very rude and disrespectful. And I said right back to her, it's rude and disrespectful that you were late, didn't call, and you lied to me. She gave me the finger and stomped off with her nerves and went back into her car and pulled out like a bat out of hell. Because how dare I not want to hang out with someone who lied about their age, comes looking like a grandmother, and is late on top of it to boot. So the bottom line to this, I'm probably going to make another one in a couple months, is that whether you're dating online, I've met people on that website, I've met people in the real, you know, I've bumped into women at bars and what have you, and I have more hellish stories, but these ones stuck out in my mind, is that you never know what a person really is until you get to know them. So dating, whether you're a male or a female, whether you're gay or straight, is always a roll of the dice. And I'm sure that many of you have dating nightmares yourself that you can talk about. If you want to put a couple in the comment section below, I'd love to see them. Anyway, guys, this is Rich at ReviewTechUSA. I know I've been on a hiatus for a while. I'm back, starting with news stories tomorrow. Make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for supporting my channel. Hope you enjoyed this video.